Hello everyone, Rayton K here again with another part of my Revolution 3 Let's Play. So, last time I asked you what mod you'd like to see me play with next, and popular request said Immersive Engineering. And admittedly I'm using the term popular request a bit loosely here, there was only one person requesting, so yeah. Anyway, since apparently asking at the end of the episode is not really working out, I guess I'll just ask now. Except for next episode I've got planned to just work on a bit of Britannia, and so there is no choice for the lot of you. Sorry. That said, today we're going to start working on some industrial crap. Sorry, my mistake. Immersive engineering. So let's get started with that. Anyway, first thing what we're going to need is a place to, do all our immersive engineering stuff. So yeah, I'm going to dig one out. Since digging stuff out always takes a little while, I'll be right back once I've got something set up. See you in a moment. Oh, I'm back, did some digging, and now I've got a pretty large room. These support columns from the Catwalks mod supposedly are, unaffected by gravity, so I can place any number of them in a long line and they'll just do fine. And they work pretty well as supports, most of the time apparently, but yeah. With any luck, this structure should hold pretty well. With any luck. In any case, the first thing we should get, now that we're going to do some stuff with immersive engineering, are a pair of furnaces, very specialized furnaces even. Thankfully I already got both of them. Remember, I used to have them at the old base, so it's just a matter of setting them back up. The coke furnace will go nicely over in this little corner. So, the thing with immersive engineering is that it strongly relies on multi-block structures. In other words, structures that you build up in the world, give a little whack with the engineer's hammer, and which then become some usable thing. Yeah, words are hard. Anyway, oh dear, I think I may have swapped these two out. Let me just break this down and replace it. And I was intending to put the steel-making furnace over here. Technically speaking, I have a better option for making steel, but you'll see why I'm doing it. But, well, words. What I'm trying to say is, I'm just building this mod's version of the steel-making furnace because A, why not? And B, this mod's version of the steel-making furnace also makes a secondary product that in certain occasions can be quite useful. What will be more useful though is what this particular furnace makes, the coke brick, the coke furnace. Let's see. Yeah. Since we're going to do a lot of work with this, especially initially, I'll just build it right next to the entrance, like so. Ugly as all hell, I know, but whatever. So, now that we've got that set up, let's fire it up so it can do some work while I do some other work. Yeah, I think it's best if I just go out and chop a whole bunch of wood first. See, the coke furnace can burn up a number of items, including wooden logs, to make certain other items. For wooden logs, that's just regular charcoal, which is useful in its own right. For coal, it's something else. Coal coke, to be precise, which is a highly improved version of coal that burns twice as long, so you can cook a full stack with just 4 items of coke instead of 8. Oops. But more importantly, pretty much every operation you do with it gives off a little bit of creosote oil. And creosote oil is required for certain kinds. It is required to make certain kinds of mid to high level stuff. More specifically, treated wood that's apparently better than normal wood, probably water resistant or something, which is a requirement for some of the multi-block structures along the way. So, bottom line of my incessant rambling, we're going to need a bunch of wood to make a bunch of charcoal and a whole lot of creosote oil. So, see you in a moment, once I'm done collecting up some more wood. Okay, so, a little bit of lumberjacking later, and I've got a good deal more than 3 stacks. Perhaps a little more than I need right now, but it's a good start. Anyway, using it is really easy. You just slap the items in there, the furnace starts burning, and after a little while you got the charcoal, coal coke, or whatever it is you were making right over here, and in this little tank goes the creosote. Now, as you can see, it's only a tank for 12 buckets, which isn't a whole lot, especially once you start burning coal for coal coke. Regular wood doesn't give a whole lot of coal coke. Off the top of my head, just 100 millibuckets, but we'll see in a moment once this little flame runs out. Just a second more. And there we go, piece of charcoal and 250 creosote oil. So yeah, 4 of those gives 1 bucket of creosote. 12 times 4, 12 times 4, 2 times 24, 48 of them gives a full tank over here. So yeah, well before this entire stack finishes burning into charcoal, this one's going to fill up, which causes the furnace to stop running. We need to do something about that. So, since it's an immersive engineering problem, there's also an immersive engineering solution. Let me just check if I already got that particular book. Yep, lucky me, I have it. And just dig up the stuff I'm looking for. Scratch it. Tanks and silos. Now, tanks and silos can either be used for storing liquids or for storing items. The silo offers storage for roughly 24 chests worth of items, which is a lot, 41,000 items. And the smaller version, the tank, allows for storage of up to 512 buckets of any fluid. 512 times 4 is 1024, which is a whole bunch of stacks of wood that can burn up before you fill up a tank full of creosote oil. So let's get started with that. For that we need 4 treated wood fences and 34 sheet metal blocks, which is a whole lot. See, sheet metal blocks are made of iron sheets, and right now the only way we have to make those iron sheets is the expensive way. by combining two pieces of iron with a hammer and flattening them out. There is a better way, thankfully. Let me see if I can find it. Yada yada yada. Not in here apparently. Sorry for all the time wasted here. The metal press requires a bit of steel, a bit of conveyor belt work, and a heavy engineering block, which is technically in our reach. There's a catch though. To make a heavy engineering block, we need some steel, which we can get tons of, no problem. As a matter of fact, let me check. Still waiting, still waiting. Okay, apparently it doesn't look like the rotary craft steel is included, but still, if we need steel, all we really have to do is grab a bit of iron, grab an equal number of coal coke, so let's just put 2 of those back, and head downstairs to our little facility here. The blast furnace works pretty much as you'd expect. It's basically a furnace that makes steel and a little bit of bloom, which can be used to make, if I recall correctly, some kinds of fertilizer. Let me check. Can be used to make concrete, and that's about it. My mistake, I was wrong. In any case, steel can be used. Steel can be used, amongst other things, to make steel plates and to make that okay, shift crafting. Oops, wrong tab. So, in any case, steel can be used to make, amongst many other things, the heavy industrial blocks that we need. The heavy engineering blocks. See? However, it also requires a bit of electrum, which is electrum grid, which is made of gold and silver, which is where we start to hit the first snag. But more importantly, these steel mechanical components require copper ingots. And right now, I have absolutely no copper. Thankfully, I know that there's a place where I can find some amount of copper. But that has its own downsides, which we'll come to once I get set up there. So, I'm going to split up the video here again, and once we get back, I'll be at the place where I know to find copper. Alright, here we are again. This place is a few hundred meters away from where I've got my outing site. To be precise, 413 meters. In any case, as you can see, over here, there's a small flower called the Hauma. According to to Wayla, the little thing in the bottom right, it's a copper indicator, meaning that somewhere below ground, in this spot, there's copper to be found. If you can keep your eyes open, there are also other kinds of indicator plants, such as these tansies indicating tin. Somewhere in this direction there are some more Haumans. Also a blue pylon, which you shouldn't get too close to. Some Purjos indicating iron, and a few horsetails indicating that there's gold. Now, according to what I've read, they've got a 30 block reach in which they can detect. So, probably somewhere in the middle of this cluster, somewhere deep down, there's copper. So, Since there are a bunch of different ores in this area according to the indicator plants, I'm going to set up a bit of a mining outpost here, and I'll be right back once I've got something set up. See you in a moment. So, the first trip wasn't exactly successful. My pickaxe broke, didn't bring a spare, my inventory got really cluttered. I did run into some fossils, but not gonna do anything with them right now. Just store them in here for when I need them. So, I'm back at the base for a little bit, since I also need food. Which gives me the opportunity to show you what it takes to make one of those scallion baked potatoes. First, I need about half a stack of soybeans, which I throw in this presser block. It's another block from the same mod that added those particular plants, which has only a few very limited uses. It can make oh hey, I guess it got expanded a bit. In any case, previously it used to be able only to make... Oh, that's extra surprising. In the past, it used to be able only to make silken tofu and to make said silken tofu into firm tofu, which is a meat replacement, and soy milk, which is a milk replacement, just in case you want to make everything entirely organically. In any case, the silken tofu is one of the ingredients that can be used for scallion baked potatoes. The other two ingredients are naturally potatoes, because you can't have a potato recipe without potatoes in it, because then it wouldn't be a potato recipe, and scallions. Who would have thought? In any case, I gotta wait until these two finish up. I'll just grab some stuff to burn in a moment. In the meantime, since I was away from the base, this chunk got unloaded, meaning that the stuff here isn't very far along yet. At least not nearly as far along as it would have been had I stayed here the entire time. So yeah. In any case, I'm still cooking up a whole bunch of smooth stone because it's a good material to build with, got decent tensile strength. Got a bit of salt here, which can be used for a few recipes. Made myself a back door because having to walk around the base every single time I'd want to go there got a bit annoying. And that's about all that happened since I last recorded. That said, the smooth stone in this particular furnace is almost done cooking up. There we go. This goes in there. This goes in there. Using both furnaces to cut the actual waiting time in half. So in here, the silken tofu is almost done. So the only thing left to grab is 32 scallions. Since I bred up all these things to their maximum potential, each crop now yields up to 4 times as much. For most crops, that just means that it drops 4 instead of 1, but there are a few crops that drop even more than that, because they already dropped more than that by default. More than 1 item by default. In any case, just like many other things in this pack, I gotta wait for a little bit for things to go through, for stuff to cook up here, and I'll be back in a moment, back at the mining site with a fresh pickaxe. As a matter of fact, let me just grab materials for additional pickaxes, since I'm always carrying a the crafting table around anyway. Be back in a moment. See you soon. So, while setting up a typical strip mine operation using a stone lanterns because they don't burn out, I came across a bit of hard lead ore, which is kind of a problem because it's in the way. But it also gives me an opportunity to show what mining is like in this pack. As you can see, the block doesn't immediately disappear, but pay close attention. Do you see how on this block there are a bunch of different pixels colored, while on this block that I've been mining for a little bit, several of them have gone missing? Yeah. Once you get rid of the last bit of ore in a block, the block itself disappears. Keep in mind that it's the kind of ore you still need to pulverize first to get any real use out of it. So yeah. This may look like a lot of ore, very densely concentrated, but it's not all that good. And while we're on the subject of mining annoyances, gravel! Who doesn't hate it when they run into a patch of gravel here? Yeah. In any case, I'm digging around looking for stuff, and the moment I find any stuff, preferably of the useful variety, I'll let you guys know. Be back in a while, because this is not a fast process on a good day. Also, turns out there's stuff hidden there from Chromaticraft, but I don't know what it is, so I can't see it yet. Actually, let me look at that again. Regular old stone blocks, but they give that little pop-up on the right hand with all the gibberish, right? That means that there's something from, what's the word? From Chromaticraft there that I do not know about, that I don't have enough understanding of how Chromaticraft works to actually see it. In any case, like I said, I'll be back. So, according to the tips at the starting screen, copper is pretty hard to find. And I have to agree, it's a painful process digging for the stuff, but I found some, finally. So, apparently it comes in really small chunks, so I'm going to be pretty busy for the foreseeable time, oops, to dig it all up. Good thing I brought extra stuff for extra pickaxes. In any case, now that I've got some amount of copper, hopefully with a larger mother lode somewhere along the ore vein, now that I've got some copper, I can do some pretty neat stuff with advanced industrial things. My eloquence knows no limits today, apparently. In any case, I'm just happy I finally managed to find it. So, if you're looking for it yourself, I found some around Y level 40 below the Holman flowers, I think they were called. But yeah, the copper indicator flowers. So keep that in mind if you just can't seem to find any copper anywhere in the world yourself. Also, speaking of which, there's this included guide that, amongst others, gives some hints about ore generation. Sorry about the bar covering up half the stuff. It's just not something I can do about. Anyway, it says that it's found about 1/3 of the way down to bedrock, especially common in jungles, which is pretty accurate. There's a jungle somewhere to the north there, so we're right up against that particular jungle. But anyway, if I'm interpreting this right, it seems to assume that 2/3 of the way down to bedrock means around Y level 40. So keep that in mind for the other ores that you might be looking for as well. Anyway, I'll do some digging until I can't dig anymore. Thankfully, my miner's backpack can hold a whole lot of raw copper, so I'll be here for a while. See you in a little bit, and I am just happy, really, really happy to have finally found the elusive copper. See you in a bit. So, finally back home. It's raining cats and dogs, but I don't care, because I have no less than 4 full stacks of raw copper ore. Now, this is actually a whole lot less than it might sound like. See, each raw copper ore gets turned into 2 small piles, and each 8 small piles makes 1 big pile that can be split into an ingot. Long story short, those 4 stacks of raw ore are just enough to make 1 stack of actual usable stuff. Still, I'm pretty stoked, and hey, at least it'll let me get a start with the what's the word? Immersive engineering stuff that I want to do today. However, looking at the time that I've been recording, I'm about to go long on this episode, so that'll have to wait until next time. So, this has been Ray 10K with the Revolution 3 mod pack, and see you all next time. Bye!